You wake up in the morning. Your alarm doesn't go off because you didn't set one. You grab your coffee, you check your phone, and there it is, a deposit notification. Not from your employer, not from a client, from your brokerage account. A dividend payment just hit, and it covers your rent, your groceries, your car payment, all of it. And you didn't have to do a single thing to earn it. Now, most people hear that and they think, yeah, that sounds amazing, but that's for rich people. That's for people who inherited money or got lucky with crypto in 2017. But here's the thing, it's not. And today, I'm going to show you the exact math, the exact numbers, and the exact strategy to make living off dividends a real, tangible goal. Not some fantasy, not some guru nonsense. Real numbers. My name is Luis, and I spend way too much time thinking about dividend investing, passive income streams, and the math behind financial freedom. If you're someone who works hard, saves what you can, but still feels like the finish line keeps moving further away, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. All right, let's get into it. So the first question is obvious. How much money do you actually need invested to live off dividends? And look, I'm not going to give you some vague answer as it depends. I'm going to give you specific numbers. Let's start with the average. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American household spends roughly $6,440 per month. That's about $77,280 a year. Now, that includes everything: housing, food, transportation, healthcare, and entertainment. Everything. So if you need $77,280 per year from dividends alone, and you're investing in a diversified portfolio yielding around 3.5%, which is realistic for a mix of solid dividend-paying stocks and ETFs, here's the math. $77,280 divided by 0.035 equals approximately $2.2 million. Now I know, I just saw half of you click away. $2.2 million? Luis, come on. But wait, stay with me here, because that number is not the full picture. Not even close. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't need to replace your entire income with dividends. You need to replace your expenses. And more specifically, you need to replace your essential expenses. There's a massive difference between what you earn and what you actually need. Most people, if they sat down and were brutally honest, could live comfortably on far less than they currently spend. I'm not talking about eating rice and beans forever. I'm talking about cutting the stuff that doesn't actually make you happier. Research from Princeton, the famous study by Daniel Kahneman, found that emotional well-being plateaus around $75,000 a year. Now, adjusted for inflation in 2026, that's closer to $95,000. But here's the thing. That's household income, not individual. And most people's actual baseline comfort number is way lower. Let's say you trim your lifestyle to $4,500 a month. That's $54,000 a year. Very livable in most of the country. Now the math changes dramatically. $54,000 divided by 0.035 equals roughly $1.54 million. Still a big number? Sure. But we just shaved off nearly $700,000 from the goal by simply being intentional. And we're not done. Now, you might be thinking, Luis, 3.5% yield? I've seen stocks paying 8%, 10%, even 12%. Why wouldn't I just buy those? Look, I get it. It's tempting. You see a stock yielding 11% and your brain goes, I need way less money. And mathematically, that's true. At an 11% yield, you'd only need about $490,000 to generate $54,000 a year. But here's where I need to be real with you. High-yield stocks are high yield for a reason. The market is pricing in risk. A company paying 11% is often either declining, over-leveraged, or about to cut its dividend. Historically, stocks with ultra-high yields underperform the broader market. A study from Hartford Funds showed that dividend growers, companies that consistently raise their dividends, outperformed high-yield stocks by a significant margin, over 50 years. So the sweet spot? It's somewhere between 3% and 5.5%. You want companies that pay you reliably and raise that payment every single year. Think of it like a pay raise you never have to ask for. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's say you invest in a portfolio yielding 3.5% today, but the companies in that portfolio raise their dividends by an average of 7% per year. That's not unusual. Many dividend aristocrats have done this for decades. In year one, your $1 million portfolio pays you $35,000. Okay, not enough to live on yet. But by year 7, that same portfolio, without adding a single dollar, is now paying you roughly $56,000. By year 10, it's over $68,000. You didn't invest more. You didn't do anything. The companies just kept raising their payments. This is the part that breaks people's brains. The yield on your original cost keeps going up. It's called yield on cost, and it's the secret weapon of long-term dividend investors. Your portfolio might show a 3.5% yield to the market, but on what you originally paid, you might be earning 7%, 8%, or even 10% on your actual dollars. Okay, so here's where I get a little frustrated. Because the math works. The strategy is proven. The data is there. But most people will never do this. And it's not because they can't. It's because of psychology. There's a concept in behavioral economics called hyperbolic discounting. Basically, your brain massively overvalues immediate rewards and massively undervalues future rewards. $1 today feels way more real than $10 a decade from now. So when you have $500 at the end of the month, and you're choosing between investing it or buying something you want right now, your brain is literally wired to sabotage your future self. Here's the thing. Awareness is half the battle. Once you understand that this is happening, you can set up systems to beat it. Automate your investments. Set it up so the money leaves your account before you even see it. You can't spend what you never touch. Remove the decision from the equation entirely. The other psychological trap? Comparison. You see someone your age who drives a nicer car or takes better vacations, and suddenly your $500 monthly investment feels pointless. But what you don't see is their debt. You don't see their stress. You don't see the fact that they're one unexpected expense away from a crisis. You're playing a completely different game than they are. All right, let me give you something concrete. Here's how to actually start building toward living off dividends, no matter where you are right now. Step 1. Calculate your freedom number. Not your I want to be rich number, your real number. What does it actually cost you to live a life you enjoy? Be honest. Write it down. Step 2. Build your portfolio around dividend growth, not just high yield. Focus on companies with at least 10 years of consecutive dividend increases, strong balance sheets, payout ratios below 60%. If you want simplicity, a dividend growth ETF like SCHD or VIG gives you instant diversification with quality holdings. Step 3. Reinvest every single dividend until you're ready to live off them. This is non-negotiable. DRIP, dividend reinvestment, is what turns a snowball into an avalanche. Every dividend you reinvest buys more shares, which pay more dividends, which buy more shares. The compounding effect is absurd over time. Step 4. Increase your contributions every time your income goes up. Got a raise? Invest half of it. Got a bonus? Same thing. Lifestyle inflation is the #1 killer of wealth building. Every dollar you don't inflate your lifestyle with becomes a soldier working for you permanently. Step 5. Track your progress monthly. Not your portfolio value, your dividend income. Watch that number grow. When you see your passive income go from $50 a month to $200 to $500 to $1,000, something shifts in your brain. It becomes addictive in the best possible way. You start making better decisions automatically because you can see the direct result. Let me paint a realistic picture. Say you're 28 years old. You start investing $800 a month into a diversified dividend growth portfolio, averaging a 3.8% yield with 7% annual dividend growth and 8% total return, including price appreciation. By age 40, you'd have roughly $185,000 invested from your own contributions. But with reinvested dividends and growth, your portfolio would be closer to $290,000, generating around $14,000 a year in dividends. By age 50, with the same contributions, you're sitting on over $750,000, generating roughly $42,000 in annual dividends. By age 55, over $1 million. Dividend income approaching $65,000 per year. And remember, if your freedom number is $54,000, you're done. You're free at 55, without a pension, without depending on Social Security, without hoping the government figures things out. Now, you might be thinking, but Luis, that's 27 years away. Yeah, it is. And those 27 years are gonna pass whether you invest or not. The only question is whether future you is gonna be grateful or resentful of the decision you make today. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you this is easy. It's not. It requires discipline. It requires patience. It requires saying no to things today so you can say yes to everything tomorrow. But the math doesn't lie. The strategy has worked for decades, and every single day you wait is a day of compounding you'll never get back. The difference between people who achieve financial freedom and people who don't isn't intelligence. It isn't income. It's behavior. It's showing up consistently, even when it feels pointless, even when the market drops, even when everyone around you is spending money they don't have on things they don't need. You now have the numbers. You have the strategy. You have the framework. The only thing left is the decision. If this video helped you see what's possible, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below with your freedom number. I want to know what you're working toward. And if you want me to break down the exact portfolio I'd build for dividend income in 2026, let me know in the comments, and I'll make that the next video. I'll see you in the next one.